What's going on, everybody? My name is Brad Gagne, and I'm a realtor in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with the Atkinson team. And the calendar has officially turned over to June, so that means Kreb is out with his latest statistics. Today, we are going to be taking a dive into the current numbers and what has been happening in Calgary over the last month. So if you are a potential buyer, seller, or you're just curious about what's been happening in the Calgary real estate market, make sure you stay tuned to this video. If you have any questions, make sure you put it in the comments below. All right, so the first thing we want to take a look at is benchmark price. So if you've been looking around for a home of late, a lot of people are talking about the market not being very strong. A lot of this is being fueled by a lot of the political stuff that is happening down south, and we're starting to see some of that trickle into our Canadian market. But in Calgary, the benchmark price is still holding pretty strong. We're just shy of $590,000, and that does mark about a 2.5% drop over this time last year. But what we are seeing with this is that housing prices are starting to normalize. We have seen over the last bunch of years, prices go up, 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 and it has made home ownership, especially for new home buyers or anybody in a slightly lower price range, it's made it very hard to get into the market. We are now seeing some opportunity with prices leveling off, and more people now have the ability to get into the market, especially for the first time. Where we are seeing a lot of this decrease in the price is actually coming in our condos and townhouses. So if you have a detached home or a bigger home, we are still seeing that there is a lot of competition in there and prices have gone up a little bit. But if we're in that condo townhouse market, that's where we've seen a bigger rise, and that is what is helping to push down the benchmark price. All right, so let's talk now about sales. And just like the benchmark price have come down, we have seen sales come down as well, almost 17%, which does look like a pretty scary number when you say it like that. But if you're a homeowner who's looking to sell, we are actually getting into what is more historically normal. So yes, 17% down from last year seems like a lot, but last year at this time, we had a really good seller's market. There was very little homes for sale, and demand was through the roof. But this does show about a 10% increase over sales historically in Calgary over the last 10 years in the month of May. So yes, 17%, seems scary, but no, in reality, this is more normal. This is kind of what we do expect to see in Calgary for the month of May. So if you do have a house that you're potentially looking to sell or is currently listed and hasn't moved yet, there's no reason to hit the panic button. This is what is more normal for the city of Calgary. Okay, so let's have a quick look at new listings and inventory. So again, both are up, which is helping to drive days on the market and also helping to kind of cool that benchmark price. So new listings for the month, we're just shy of about 5,000, which puts us at about 6,700 current listings in inventory. So this is quite a bit more, almost double what we were at this time last year. But once again, this is getting into a more normalized state, something we are more used to seeing in the real estate market. And what this is really showing us now is we are getting out of that hot seller's market and we are moving into a more balanced market. And really what that means is if you're on the buying side, we aren't going to have those absolutely crazy, insane bidding wars. And if you're on the seller side, your home might not be able to sell just like that. And you're going to have to come in with a smarter price to attract buyers. But we're in middle ground. So buyers are going to have an opportunity to buyers are going to have an opportunity to buy. Sellers are still going to have an opportunity to sell. It just means everybody's going to have to work together to ensure that both end up in a win-win situation. All right, so let's break down the benchmark prices just based on property type. So let's start with detached homes, and we are sitting at $769,000. So benchmark prices overall might be down, but you can see that went up about 1% year over year. So that represents about 2.5 months of inventory. So if you have a detached home, you can see prices are still going up and demand is still pretty strong to get into those types of properties. Next one we're going to look at is semi-detached, and you can see semi-detached homes went up again about 2.9% year over year, almost getting to that $700,000 mark, and months of supply is down around 2 months, so significantly lower than some of the properties we're going to see coming up. And again, what does this mean? If you are in that semi-detached bracket looking to sell your home, there is still demand. If you're looking to buy in that semi-detached or detached home, you're going to have to do your research and you're going to have to be ready to buy when you find the property you really like. Next segment we're going to look at is row homes or townhouses. Okay, and here's where you can see the first kind of dip, and that's helping with the overall benchmark price. So benchmark for row homes is down nearly 2%. Okay, so we're at about 453 for the overall benchmark price, and we're at about 2.5 months worth of supply. So supply is still not crazy high, but prices are starting to come down, and we are starting to see the demand to get into townhomes cooling off just a little bit. And now where we're seeing the biggest cooling and probably the biggest opportunity for buyers is in condos. So condos came down about 1.5% year over year on their benchmark price. So we're sitting just above $335,000, but we have 3.6 months worth of supply. So if you're looking to sell your condo, you need to be smart. You need to come in with an attractive price, and you need to make sure your home is ready to go. And if you're a buyer, whether investor, first-time home buyer, downsizer, or whatever you're really looking to buy for, there is an opportunity in the condo market to get a really good deal on a new home. So as you can see from these numbers, detached and semis remain very stable and are still growing. Good news if you're looking to sell, and not horrible news if you're looking to buy, as they've grown, but only slightly. While when we shift into the row home and condos, we are starting to see a softening, and that is thanks to a much bigger supply. So there are opportunities on both sides if you're looking to buy or sell, and these numbers really show that the Calgary real estate market is still pretty healthy. It's just having a bit of a shift into that more balanced market condition. All right, so let's get into what this really means for buyers and sellers going forward into the rest of 2025. So if you're a buyer, what does this mean? Well, we got some negotiating power, especially if you are looking for row homes or condos, where the last bunch of years it's been bidding wars and a lot of uncertainty on the buying side. Now with a much broader inventory, more selection, you have more flexibility with your timing, and you're not going to be as rushed when you're trying to purchase that home. Again, make sure if you're a buyer, you still stick to the key things. Make sure you are pre-approved. Sellers still want that reassurance, knowing that when you come in and make an offer on their home, that you have already gotten approved from a mortgage broker and you have the financing ready to go. Also now, with a little more flexibility in your timing, it's really important to make sure, especially if you're condos or townhouses with condo fees, make sure you get those condo doc reviews and don't skip on the home inspections. The last couple of years, it's always been better as a buyer to try and come in with as few conditions as possible because of the bidding wars happening. But now that we're seeing an easing on those bidding wars, make sure you do your due diligence, get the home checked, go through the documents, and make sure what you're buying isn't going to end up costing you a lot of money with unforeseen issues. So what about if you're selling? Well, the sky isn't falling. We are hearing over and over and over again that homes are sitting for longer and longer, and we're not getting as good of dollar value for them as we should. But that simply is not true, especially if you are looking to sell a detached home or a semi-detached home. Value for those is still going up. Demand for those is still strong. A lot of buyers want to be in detached homes. They want the backyards. They want privacy. So if you're selling, especially the detached homes, there is still some competition, but you want to make sure you price your homes right. We are in more of a balanced market, and buyers are doing their research. They don't have a whole lot of inventory, especially in those higher priced homes. So they are making sure that they know exactly what they want and where they want it. So make sure you come to market with a smart price, a price that is there to attract buyers. Make sure that you get professional photography, professional virtual tours. Everybody shops online. Everybody goes on to realtor.ca or their actual realtor's website and they look at the pictures of the home and they know exactly what they're walking into. So don't skip out on the professional photography. Make sure you get your home staged and make sure you declutter it and try and remove as much personalized items from it as well. When buyers walk in, they need to be able to envision themselves living in that home. So just try and make sure it's clean, decluttered, and not overly personalized. And highlight any key selling features you might have. Is your home super efficient? Do you have solar panels and other things like that? Highlight that. Do you have an amazing backyard or a handyman's dream garage or shed? Make sure that's on the listing. Make sure that people coming to look at your home know about it. That will help your house stand out and attract more potential buyers. So once again, if you're selling, the market is still strong. Just make sure that you price it right the first time so that you get a lot of attention from buyers when it first hits the market. All right, so here's the bottom line. The Calgary market has shifted and it is now more balanced. So if you're a buyer, there are lots of opportunities to get yourself into that dream property. And if you're a seller, the opportunities are still there. You just need to be smarter and more strategic about how you go about selling your home. So if you're interested in making a move, whether buying or selling, or you have any questions about what might be happening, make sure you reach out. All my contact information is in the description below, or feel free to shoot me a DM. I would love to help you out with any questions or concerns you might have going forward for the rest of this year. As always, if you liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe, and happy house hunting.